Anyway, what I was going to do, Joe and Peter, is I was going to give a topic for people to talk about. Now, do you want to be boys and girls are different? Are boys and girls different because of upbringing or because of DNA? Is that a topic anybody's interested in? Beauty and the Beast. Why do women choose the damaged man over the good or quiet man? Why do they go for the bad boy?
That's interesting.
Do women go for the bad boy?
Very often.
Now, going back to Janet, are you attracted to the good man?
I don't know if they're good or not. But I would want a good man.
Is it possible you have childhood wounds that don't allow you to be attracted to the good man?
No, I
Is
don't
that
have any
possible?
problem. No,
That's
I have a normal
impossible.
childhood.
That's
It's impossible.
absolutely impossible that that's the case.
It's absolutely impossible.
Okay, I can see part of the problem then. Do you think you're open-minded?
I think so.
Okay, so wouldn't an open-minded person weigh all the potential possibilities?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay,
I do think
that's where we're
so.
going. Is it possible that you don't allow yourself to be attracted to the healthy man? Because it's
I
not
haven't met a
attractive to
lot.
you, because you're trying to heal the childhood wound that you're not aware of.
I know how childhood wounds. I had a normal childhood.
I had a normal childhood, but I'm a dismissive avoidant.
I had a great childhood and I'm still a people pleaser. Thank you, Bruce.
That's not
Shining a light on that.
that's not how childhood wounds work, unfortunately, Jen. And that's what I mean. That's what if you don't want to be aware of that, that's 100% your choice. But that's what I do is I help people understand what's going on in their heads without them realizing they're subconscious. That's why the group is called a conscious partner. It's about looking at these things consciously. And then there's the sexual assault. If a man gets a married woman drunk and has sex with her, is that sexual assault?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So which one of these three topics do we want to address?
First or second?
I like the second one.
Beauty and the Beast?
Men
This one?
I think both first or second are interesting. I might have more to say about the first and less to say about the second.
Okay. So what do we think? Are boys and girls different because of upbringing or because of DNA?
I think the first one may also speak or inform a little bit
A
of
little
what the
bit.
question of, why aren't men looking for love? I think
Partially, yeah.
what I've heard you say about that might speak more to that as well.
But what's anybody else think? What do you guys think? Is it nature or nurture that boys and girls are different?
Both.
Yeah, I'd have to say both. But I mean, there's just such a wide spectrum. You got transgender folks too. So,
Well, no, yeah, but let's take that 1% or 2% out. Let's just talk about boys and girls and the raising, because it's otherwise we're going to jump into a whole different spectrum.
okay, but
But I do understand everything's on a spectrum,
yeah,
right? But the spectrums are heavy to the two genders, correct?
right. You could put most people in a certain area and most
Yeah,
people in
most
another
people
area.
are not there yet.
People kind of slide between them too.
Correct.
And I think I've heard you say, Bruce, that there's no perfect argument. Like if what you're hearing as a stereotypical female quality applies to you and you're male, then
Right.
interpolate
But we
from
can't
yourself and
we
vice
can't
versa.
have a discussion if we can't agree on the general principle, can we?
Okay. Yeah, maybe if we can talk
Otherwise,
about
we can't have a discussion
right.
because everybody will just say, "Well, I know the exception.
Yes. But
I
maybe
know
we
the
can talk
other
about
exception.
Generally.
And I know the other exception." So,
in general, okay with that.
right, we can't have a discussion if we don't agree on the general principle and then work backwards from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the whole point. Because there's a lot of people that think it's nature, or sorry, that it's nurture. Is it nurturing?
I
I definitely see some of that.
I think DNA is a little bit stronger, but definitely nurture influences. It can either emphasize what the DNA, or maybe minimize it a little bit.
Would
I
it
think-
be, would it help if we looked at, you have to kind of let the child get old enough to see some tendencies first. Is that possible?
I'm not sure what
Like
you mean.
see how
by-
they play,
Oh,
see how they play naturally.
I think I see culture, so nurture, setting expectations by gender. I think that's
Agreed.
pretty
I agree.
influential.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that changes too from culture to culture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely something.
What do you think, Peter?
I think there's definitely there's both aspects. If they take the case of David Reimer, for instance, that would be an indication that it's not nurture.
I don't know.
And who's
who that
David
is.
Reimer? Is that the twin
Yeah.
study, or is that the twin?
No, it wasn't a twin study. I don't know if you want. You can
Oh
look.
yeah,
it up.
no, yeah, it was the same thing. That's the same thing that Dr. Best did with the twins. This is the same thing.
Okay.
I just looked it up quick.
Same doctor. Okay.
No, I don't know if it's the same doctor. It's the same. No, it is John Money.
Yep.
Yeah, that's John Money, isn't it? John Money was the doctor that did that. Yes.
So what was it?
Well, he was during a circumcision. He got damaged. They were twin boys, from what I understand.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I heard about
He got
this.
damaged, so they said, "Well, let's just cut it off and raise him as a girl." And it didn't go well.
Yeah. I mean, they gave him estrogen, did
Yeah.
genital construction, everything.
Yeah. And I think both kids end up committing suicide at some point.
Wow, that could mess you up. Apparently,
Right. And that was the original. It was the psychologist's name was John Money.
wow.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
I was-
tried to raise him as a girl. They gave him the surgery, all the things right from a baby, and he was messed up.
yeah, because he realized that he was actually a man,
Well,
that he was
yeah, he
male,
wanted to be a man.
despite all that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Does anyone know
But they
how
never
long?
told him.
Bruce, you said you think both kids committed suicide. Do you know how old each of them lived?
I don't know here.
How long they were trying to figure this out and struggling with their Peter? Do you remember from the?
38.
Wow. Okay.
In 2004, Reimer was grieved with the death of his twin brother Brian from an intentional overdose to psychiatric 2 years earlier. So 2004, 2002 and 2004. One committed suicide. I guess they both did.
Yikes.
And they're from Winnipeg. They're Canadian. Anyway, that was the original, I guess we'll call it the original case. But I have a video.
be
Let's
right
watch it. I want to watch the video. Well, Joe, are you going to be able to watch the video, Joe?
Go ahead. I'll be right back.
No, but can you hear the video?
Yep.
Okay. So let's just see what you think of this.
Men respect or can recognize a hierarchy better than women do, and that's why men function better than women do, right? Because they recognize the hierarchy better.
Men
Excuse
understand
question.
competence hierarchies better than women do.
Competence hierarchy.
And we assort ourselves in that way.
Yeah, so that just actually tells me, that's just a premise. Like, how do you explain that?
I can explain that. Can I elaborate on that?
Please.
There's a great book. It's actually written by a woman. It's called How to Play Hardball Like a Man. It explains that the way female children and male children evolve drills in hierarchy. When boys are at unstructured play, meaning they get to go play whatever game they want at recess in primary school, boys play games that require hierarchy. Team sports like football, basketball, you have a position with a clear defined role. There's a captain of the team, someone above you. And there's a such thing as winning. And when you win or lose, it establishes a hierarchy or an imbalance, which boys respect. Conversely, when girls receive unstructured play, they play games that do not require sophisticated teams. They'll play hopscotch. Well, how do you win at hopscotch? You don't. It's not about winning. They play house. They play dolls. How do you win at dolls? You don't win. It's not about winning. It's about the communal experience with one another. And all of the games that they play are egalitarian, meaning there's no hierarchy. There's no hierarchy in hopscotch. There's no hierarchy in playing dolls. And here's the difference between male and female children when observed at play. In a natural state, boys will come to a conflict and they'll say, okay, you know, jump ball, throw the ball up, we'll resolve it that way. They can move the game along. When girls are observed and they have a disagreement at play, you know what they do?
They team up?
They stop playing, they end the game. Because it's all about the relationship. And if we're not feeling happy about each other, the game has to stop. So that's based on research. That's a book called Hardball for Women by Patricia.
Pat Helmer's her name.
This is interesting because I was just watching a show called Next Gen Chef, and they had to select teams, and there was a woman and a man, and they just happened to select all women and all men. And it was very interesting because it was team competition. The men immediately took on roles and worked as a team to win. The women were just sort of, oh, whatever you want to do. And there was no structure. And somebody should have been pulled from a position and they weren't, because no, she's okay. I don't want to hurt her feelings, whatever it was. Anyway, the men crushed it. And the women failed miserably because nobody was taking charge. It was
Because
very
the context was a competition show.
yeah, it was a competition, and the women would not put people in the correct roles so that they could flourish together. It was very interesting.
Now that you've seen this video, that makes sense to you now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So what do we think of that, Joe and Peter?
It's kind of weird. The first thing, I much preferred to play house. Didn't like the team sports. Didn't like the competitions.
I agree. That can happen, right? That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. The second thing, how to resolve the disputes. The way the boys did it makes a lot more sense to me.
So you're halfway to one side,
Right. Yeah. So that's
But
me
how
personally.
important would this be to understand about your daughters? And once again, you got to kind of look at the daughters and say, which way does this one lean and which way does this one? Is this one always worried about feelings and this one's always worried about, you know, competition, right? You can have the mix, but in order to understand the mix, you have to understand the premise.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how you can see how their minds are working.
It's important for me to understand. They're not necessarily thinking about it the same way I am.
Correct. And that's the problem we run into. Like I had two daughters also, right? So I'm more the classic male.
Okay.
Right. So I was trying to, well, and now both of my daughters are very athletic and competitive, but it's probably because I was pushing them in that direction more. Correct. I don't know that they would ever be, I can't even picture them being the other way. But were they happy? I don't know, because I didn't understand any of this back then. Right? I wasn't asking those questions. Joe, what do you think of that?
I think it's instructive to understand the concept and try to grow yourself as a person in both directions.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I can't see everybody at the same time. What was the lady's name?
It's just Cynthia, Peter, and
Cynthia,
yeah.
the show that you mentioned, you know, it was, oh, a friend of mine would say maladaptive. Like they didn't use the female team didn't use kind of the proper context for that overall show competition. If they had understood this and said, you know, let's put on this, let's pull these set of tools out of our toolbox for the purposes of this competition, they could have performed better. So Bruce, and you kind of instilled some
But
of
they
that
don't know
in
the
your
tools
daughters.
exist.
What's that?
But they don't know the tools exist.
Exactly. Well, that's why we're doing work like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see value in
But
both.
can you do that though without hurting the other one's feelings?
Well, a lot of communication.
Like if I say, look I'm going to be the boss and you're going to do this and you're going to do this and you're going to do this. What Cynthia is talking about is the guys accept their roles. The question is, will the women accept the role of, or go, why is she the boss? I'm not going to listen to her. I'm going to do it my way.
I think it depends on other skill sets like communication to say, here's our situation. We're in the context of competition. It's useful to have these roles and structures and designate, assignments. If it was explained to me like that, I would participate, say, in that show on that team. If some, chick number one just came up and said, I'm the boss and you do that, that, and that, I'd probably get a little pissed off. I don't like being told what to do. But if we agree, meaning there's some good communication skills and understanding, great.
If there's good communication skills, everything in life goes good. That's the problem.
Right.
We don't have good communication skills.
Right.
So that's where we're going back to nature. The guys naturally do it. The women have to be convinced to do it. That's the premise that we're talking about, is it not?
Have to be convinced to.
Well, I'll put it this way. If based on the premise we're talking about, if 10 guys and you got 10 guys and 10 women and you say, okay, and I guess they've done survivor challenges like this. They get 10 guys on an island, 10 women on an island. Within hours, everybody has their roles on the guys' island, and in the women's island, they're all still talking about what they're going to do.
I've seen that happen before in large seminars when people are divided up and when there's tables or groups of all women, they're still discussing what's going to happen after other people are finished. Other tables are completely finished. So it's almost like the feelers versus thinkers sort of thing.
Right.
The women
And
meant to care and share and look after each other, not give direction and dive right in and look after what needs to be looked after. So it's like they're two different skill sets. And unless you have on a woman's team, for example, unless you have a woman that is a little more analytical, there's not going to be anybody there to create that direction so that everybody starts working in the same direction, where the men seem to do that very, very easily. And I've seen that over and over in lots of different things.
And interestingly, I would not call myself analytical. Peter and I had this discussion recently, but I do have a lot of masculine energy. And if somebody ain't taking charge and getting it done, I don't need to lead, but if something needs to be done and no one else is doing it, by golly, let's just get on with it. So I can see myself flipping to that side.
So that's not good.
When you know things have to get done and there's nobody else doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Interesting.
guess to me,
Now, the other thing that's very interesting to me when I do all these events is if I present this to people, then they almost get mad because they go, especially if there's lots of women, they go, well, I want to be like that. Right? That if you're saying this is me, then that's a negative. But it's not why isn't it a negative?
they're different skill sets of equal.
Right, because if
different.
the task was different, then suddenly the characteristics you require are different. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, it's so important to cultivate the people who are around you.
And have a mix of those people.
Yeah.
Because you need different people. In order to have a society, you need people with different skill sets, don't you?
Yeah.
Or a winning team or a successful corporation.
Yeah, any team. Yeah, you're going to have to have a mix of all of the people. What often happens in our society, though, is everybody wants to be all of the best aspects of everything. Or if we point out the fact that, no, this is more of a male tendency, people get mad. They say, well, how come it's only a male tendency? I have no idea why. It's built into our nature, isn't it? We're not here to judge one side as good or bad, are we?
They're just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. But we need both. But here, watch this video here. This is a little version of what we're talking about.
Have you guys heard of pickup basketball? Listen to this. Guys will go to a court on like a Saturday morning with a ball and just be like, next. They go just knowing other like-minded basketball-loving humans are going to be in the vicinity, and they're just gonna like play games together. They're just gonna play games. So I asked my husband, I was like, how do you like make the teams? And he's like, you just like formulate them. You're just like, okay, us 3, us 4, like us 5. I'm like, what chaos, what absolute madness. Can you imagine? I'm like, is there a piece of paper where you're writing people's names down? Whoever has next is like, writes their names on a chalkboard? And then like, how do you know who's on your team if you're not wearing matching costumes? Like, you just met these people. How do you know you're not bouncing the ball to the wrong person? Then he says the winning team just stays on the court and the losing team just gets off. And a new group of basketball loving humans comes onto the court and then they play that winning team. I'm like, okay, what happens if the losing team is like, yeah, we're not going anywhere. We run this court, we're staying. He said, I've played thousands of games and that's never happened. You're telling me that in pickup basketball, there's just a peaceful transfer of power, pickup game after pickup game after pickup game? And he said, yes. I would be a wreck on my way to that court. It'd be Saturday morning, white knuckles, driving. Oh my God, what if they don't let me play? What if they don't like me? What if they hit my shoes? I'd bring snacks. I'd be like, hey guys, I'm here, I've got my basketball. It's all pumped with air, and here are orange slices, and I brought juice and water for anybody who forgot it. I would try to make myself the most favorite person.
People pleaser.
This is just the most chaotic thing in the world, and it makes so much sense.
That's hilarious. But prime example of what we're discussing, right?
That's exactly what we're
Organization
discussing.
versus looking after each other and thinking
Right.
about things and discussing things and not getting anything done.
And wanting to be liked, wanting the
And
group to get along,
wanting to be liked. And looking after people by bringing the water, right? Being caring. Yeah. The guys know it's like, who's going to play? Let's go.
What do you think, Peter?
Where's my costume?
Yeah, I thought it was funny, right? How do you know if they're not wearing the same costumes?
I can say that ballet class is a whole lot different atmosphere than like sports games.
Hockey practice.
Yeah, I've never been to hockey practice, but I can imagine.
Rugby, football,
Yeah.
baseball, yeah.
And you know, that may be one reason why, you know, more women prefer it. You know, in ballet, if you're in the core, you're doing everything together. There is certainly an extreme competitive nature, but on the surface.
Inside it, yes.
Yeah, it's inside it, but
Inside it, yes.
But on the surface, it's all like you're kind of working together as
Right.
a group.
There's the image that it's all happening in this nice environment, yes.
Yeah. And
so,
yes,
well, once
I brought
again,
snacks to ballet class.
So if we took, so does a boy become masculine because you put him in football, or does he become feminine if you put him in ballet?
Not necessarily.
Because would a masculine boy have any fun in ballet?
Well,
There's a percentage.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, and they even have special ballet classes for football players, but that's usually just football players.
Yeah, that's usually for balance reasons and all of those things, right? It's improving their skills. They're not there to be ballet.
Yes, exactly.
Ballerinas or
ballet dancers.
Yeah. Ballet dancer, yeah. Anyway, So I guess the question, and that's what I'm trying to figure out with these events is, do you think this is the type of event that would get people talking about stuff? Did it make you think at all?
Does. I think it is helpful to have a topic, which then the question is, how is this different than your other, topic driven sessions? But I think, giving the group 2 or 3 to choose from, and the group decides, and wherever the conversation goes, it goes.
Right.
It's useful.
And then I use my computer to back up information based on what people are saying. But let's just go quickly to this next one and see what you think. Why do women choose the damaged man over the good or quiet man? Or why do women go for the bad boy? Or do women realize they go for the bad boy?
Some do, some don't.
Realize.
Because a lot of women do realize they go for the bad boy, right? I like the bad boys.
I don't know if they realize it, but the women that go for the bad guy will do that over and over and over and over, regardless of a good man chasing them or showing interest in them. They will turn their back and go after the bad boy. Yeah.
And why
Not
do
all
they do
women,
that?
but the women
No,
that
no,
do
no.
will do it
Yeah.
consistently. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
So Peter, why do they do that?
I don't know. I'm not one who does that. I can't speak for women who do that because
Okay,
I can guess.
Are you a bad
Yes.
guy?
No,
Correct. Am I a bad guy?
I don't think so.
No, I'd be more along that bad guy territory. I'm the dismissive avoidant, right?
Okay.
I'm the one who isn't not a lot of empathy and compassion, all that kind of stuff, right? You have a lot more of that than I do.
Okay.
So I would think you're more the nice guy. Are you
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Right. And what happens to the nice guys?
Well, some women just overlook them.
Overlook? Okay, what else happens to the nice guys? How long were you married for?
17 years.
17 years. How long were you happy for?
Well,
Dum-dum.
happy 100% of the time or happy some of the time?
Where you thought you were happy. How long till you started building resentment or she started building resentment?
We started building resentment, I think, right away.
And do you know why?
And it just kept growing. I do know. I know some reasons why. Not really reasons that I want to talk about right now.
Yeah, I understand that. But do you know the reasons why?
Yeah.
And were they reasons tied to you being the nice guy?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had been not a people pleaser, I think we would have had a chance at a much healthier relationship, although it may have just ended very quickly.
Agreed. So that's what a codependent relationship is. You were codependent on each other because chances are you're one way and she's the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know you. I know you very little. I forget if we talked about this. I'm assuming you're the anxious. If you know attachment style, do you or not, Peter? You're the people pleaser. You're the one giving in all the time, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming she was more of a dismissive avoidant.
To a certain extent. Yeah.
Right. So that's usually how it works out. So it's the insecurity that kept you together for 17 years, isn't it?
And
on both your parts.
Probably values to a certain extent.
Right.
You stayed together because of your values?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
what you
you
mean by
probably
that?
have the same family values, yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes a lot of couples stay together because of the values, the family values, especially if there's children involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it gets unfortunate. But let's hear what Mr. Peterson has to say here about Beauty and the Beast. Oh. Where's the start button?
The female myth, Beauty and the Beast. In the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast, the woman, who's quite a stellar character, she's beautiful and she's wise and she's intelligent. She has her choice. She's got loser, the village men. She's got narcissist, that's Gaston. And she's got beast. Now, stupid women like narcissists. Naive women like narcissists because they confuse their narcissism with competence and confidence. And that's how narcissists exploit. They look like they're competent. Gaston is after her, wants to charm her. She goes for the beast. He's a traumatized monster even, but she hopes that he's tameable, that she can bring him into relationship. Like a good beast has options, but he'll forgo the options for the relationship. That's the female sexual fantasy. Now that's rough, right? Because how likely is it that you're going to be able to tame a beast? Not that likely, but pretty damn useful if you can do it. Then you have someone who can keep the real beasts at bay. Women have to negotiate a very tight line because they're looking for men who are disagreeable enough to be able to tell the monsters to go to hell, but who are generous and productive enough to share.
So women are looking for somebody disagreeable enough to basically protect them, but agreeable enough to get along with.
I would say many of us are not thinking of that consciously, but
I
it does
agree.
go back, developmentally eons.
So the really insecure is what he's saying. The really insecure or unaware fall for the narcissists. And the ones with narcissistic tendencies, because that's a silly word. Not very many people are narcissists. And in fact, we're all narcissists at the same time. But there's a certain percentage of women who fall for the guy who appears to be competent. Is that a better way of saying it? But isn't really competent. So that's why they look for the damaged guy, because at least he's hard enough that he will protect me and maybe I can change him. And then there's the ones that they're not worthy of even partnering up.
But I've also heard many a time that from early childhood wounding, we're used to, I'm going to say damaged goods, and however the damaged goods, father figure or whatever, act out, and associate that acting out, which isn't, it's triggered behavior. It's not loving behavior, but associate that with love and excitement. And so go looking for that as adults in the
Right.
wild.
You're usually
child.
attracted to the relationship you had with one of your parents that you're
Right.
trying to heal.
Right.
Does that make sense to you, Peter?
I think a lot of people are attracted to familiarity.
Right.
Sometimes.
And so they've identified their love relationship with their parent with that's what love is.
Unconsciously.
And if it's not healthy, then when they get to become adults, they want to heal that wound, but they're not aware of it. So they keep attracting that wounded person, hoping that it will suddenly heal, is usually what's going on. And there's no shortage of information and videos in all the events to help
So
you
does that in
understand
any way bring us back to, I forgot the other lady's name.
To Janet's question, yeah.
Janet's question of why am I attracting these people?
Correct.
I had a good connection before. I want another one. Why am I attracting these people now?
Right. And I don't know how good a connection it was because we don't know exactly what happened. And it would be nice to hear the other side of that also.
Mm.
But unless I know my attachment style, it's really hard for me to understand what I'm doing. Like, you don't know your attachment style, Peter? We know you never came to that event?
I don't think that I did.
Oh, attachment style is like the best event. It is just, it will make sense. You will understand yourself on a different level and understand every relationship you've had in your life. You will understand why you acted the way you did, why that person acted the way they did. Highly recommend it. It totally changed my life when I
I'm
took
doing
it.
it on Sunday. Sunday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you do an excellent job at marketing.
That's her favorite event.
It is my favorite. Yeah.
But there's
I think
very
it
few
changes
people. There's
lives.
very few people. It's not their favorite event.
Okay.
Like that, everybody takes that event. I've had people take it 5 times,
Wow.
and you learn more every time. Like you more sinks in every time.
Mm.
Like it is the single most important thing you could understand about yourself if you want to be in a relationship, because you have to understand yourself first. And that's just so vital.
Mhm.
And most people don't. Most people say it's the other person doing something. The very simple rule that I have is it's never the other person. Like if you just understand that it's never the other person, life just gets really easy. Right?
A little bit of a problem with that.
I know. A lot of people do.
Because let's say if you have both people in your seminar and
Correct.
you tell them both that it's never the other person.
Then I would be right.
No, you'd be wrong because
No.
now you have 2 people who cannot be at fault.
No, both people are responsible for themselves.
Okay. Yes.
Right? You picked your wife for a reason.
Yes.
For your reason. She picked you for her reason. Her
Yep.
reason has nothing to do with you, and your reason has nothing to do with her.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's neither one of it's not the other person's fault. It's you chose for your reasons. She chose for her reasons.
Yes.
It's not your fault that she's taking things personally, that she's upset, that you've hurt her. It's not, that's not on you. And it's not on her, all the stuff that's going on inside you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. What doesn't make sense in there?
I just feel like both people can contribute to the health of a relationship and the decline. It's both people's actions matter.
They do 100%.
Yeah.
But then we have to ask, why are they doing those actions? And if both people ask themselves why they're doing what they're doing, life gets really easy.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really difficult. And that's the problem, right? It gets difficult when we're trying to distribute, well, okay, this aspect is yours and this fact is mine. And this is because everybody's always going to put more on the other person, aren't they? Or 90% of people.
Yeah.
So did you decide to get married?
Yes.
Did you decide to talk in certain ways, act in certain ways, get defensive in certain ways? Did you decide to avoid conflict? Did you decide to people please? Did you decide? That's all on you, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so what's that got? If you wouldn't have done all of the things that you chose to do, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in now. You'd be in a different situation. I'm not saying better or worse, but it would have been different.
Yes, it'd certainly be different.
And it might have been completely different, as in you never even would have gotten into a relationship.
Yeah, maybe not.
Right?
Yeah, men probably would not have had kids. That's
okay. I agree. And then now you've got kids. You go, that's not even a thought you want to have.
Yeah.
So, but that's the whole point. You made the decisions. You can't blame her because you avoided conflict, can you?
Right.
You can't blame her because you're a people pleaser.
Right.
You can't blame her because you said yes.
Exactly.
You can't blame her for the way you got defensive when you were in an argument.
Right.
So it's all you.
And
you got
she
you
can't
where
blame
you
you.
are now.
Mm. Yeah.
And she got herself where she is now. And the sooner we can separate those two things, it's not on her, it's on you. As soon as you take responsibility, that's when you empower yourself. Because you go, oh, okay, I have control over this. This is on me.
Yeah, I feel like I have control of my own life, but I don't necessarily have control over the outcome.
No, you never have control over the outcome.
Yeah.
And that's what we
maybe
have to stop doing. So what that means is that you have to stop trying to control the outcome. And that goes back to why we need to know our values and our attachment styles, so we understand what we're doing so that we can live our life based on our values. So I know, so I have a direction to go. Like, is it your value to be a people pleaser?
No.
No, right? So then you have to say, I need to stop being a people pleaser. And I'll put myself at risk of abandonment, right? I'll put myself at risk, like I may speak up when I don't want to, and my partner may react and get rid of me. Okay. That might be the cost that I pay, or the price that I pay.
Yeah. And then you have to ask yourself the question, do you want to be with somebody who's just going to get rid of you because you spoke up?
There you go. So then you have to ask the question, why is it that I'm scared to lose somebody that will get rid of me if I speak up? Why am I scared to lose that person?
Yeah.
And that's your emotional wounds from childhood, isn't it?
Yeah, could be.
Well, it can't be. What else could it be?
It's just difficult for me to, speak to a specific spot in my childhood where I felt like that was the case.
You can't speak to it because if you don't understand attachment style, you won't understand how it works. Attachment style happens between 0 and 3 years old. You're not going to remember it. And I'll give you an example of how it works.
Okay.
And I'll use my family as this isn't exactly how it happened, but I'll be able to show you how it works. So my older brother is born first. So my parents have time, right? Only child, here we go. We can take care of this baby. Then my sister comes along. And now my parents have 2 kids. So they have less time for either one of them. And it could go either way. They might take more care of the first one and ignore the second one, or more care of the second one and ignore the first one. Either way, one starts to realize that I don't get any attention unless I make noise, right? When I make noise, I get attention. That person then becomes, so they start equating love with inconsistent care, and I need to make noise to get attention. So that's now the anxious preoccupied. I'm seeking affirmation and love all the time because I'm not getting enough. I make noise and I get some. So that trains my brain. Love isn't there consistently. I need to go looking for it all the time. And if I make noise, I'll get some. And that's in your brain between 0 and 3 years old. You don't remember it happening, and your parents aren't doing it on purpose, right? They don't even know it's happening either. Now I come along. I'm the third child. Now my parents are really busy, aren't they? Now they got 2 other kids, and then there's me. They also have 2 other kids, and anybody who has kids knows by the time you get to the 3rd kid, it's another baby, whatever. Right? They're a lot less exciting by the time you get to number 3. So
we took some photos, I think.
Yeah, we must have some pictures somewhere. So now they go, okay, well, I got the baby. Good thing we got a crib because we're chasing these other 2 kids around. Let's put this one in the crib. And then, so I cry a lot in the crib, but they know I'm safe in the crib, and they got these other 2 kids. They go, he'll be fine. He'll cry himself to sleep. So what do I think as that kid?
Doesn't really matter if you make noise or not.
It doesn't matter if I make noise, but I'm not going to get the love and attention that I need. Nobody's coming to save me. I need to take care of myself. I have to take care of my own emotional needs because nobody's coming. Yet I have 2 loving parents in a loving household who are just busy. So now I become the dismissive avoidant.
Yeah.
Then my younger brother comes along. So now we got 4 kids. So now I'm the dismissive. And just for the sake of the story, this isn't what happened, but I'll do it for the sake of the story. Now they're really busy. And then mom decides she's going to go back to work. So they put I'm old enough now, and my two older siblings, they're 4, 5, or 6. They're old enough. They're out of that attachment style phase. I'm right on the edge of it. But maybe they put my youngest brother into a daycare where they're away from their parent, they're away from their primary caregiver. What is a baby going to think when it's away from its primary caregiver? What's going to go on the baby's brain?
Sure.
Well, if you've been around kids, you know that when you take a baby away from his mother, what's it do?
Starts crying.
It starts crying. Why? Because it knows who its mother is, right?
Yeah.
It knows who mama is.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a baby and you put it in daycare, and how many parents go through this every morning when they're going to work? The baby starts screaming because the mom's leaving or the dad's leaving, either one, right? What goes through a 1-year-old's brain or 1.5-year-old's brain when it's crying and it gets left by its caregiver?
Feels abandoned.
Feels abandoned. And what happens to somebody that gets abandoned? What's happened to a baby, whether an animal or why does a baby polar bear scream when the mom's not around? It makes noise because I need you to come back because I can't survive.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe the babysitter has 3 or 4 other kids there and just treats you like crap while you're at the babysitter. So now you start equating love with abandonment and poor care and all of these other things. You become a fearful avoidant.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, you had loving parents in a loving household. It's just the way the cookie crumbles when people don't understand what's going on.
Just different circumstances. Yeah.
I know I'll use my 2 daughters as an example. First daughter, my ex-wife, went back to work. We put her into daycare. I didn't know any of this back then. Put her into daycare. She's grown up to be more of an anxious wreckbite because the daycare was good, but it was away. So she had some tendencies or maybe a little more anxious. Second child, my wife stayed home. She's much more secure.
Interesting.
So now in your household, you've got 2 daughters, 5 and 10. I don't know what they experience between 0 and 3. Now, after 3 years old, between 3 and 18, there's something called adverse childhood experiences. Your kids already have a 1, at least a 1. It's a scored out of 10, but you're now divorced, so that's an adverse childhood experience. That's 1. And if you do the assessments, you start to realize what they all are. If you get above a 3, that's a problem. That starts to when it really impacts your life. So your divorce is a 1. Like any kind of physical abuse would be another 1. Somebody in jail, alcohol, drugs, etc. is another. Like there's a kind of a point system for did this happen between 3 and 18 years old. And once you get above a 3, it leads towards all of these other problems for adverse childhood experiences. So if you have an insecure attachment style on top of some adverse childhood experiences, that's when you can see lots of dysfunction in relationships. And all this would be fascinating for you to know when you're raising your daughters.
Yeah.
Because they're only 5 and 10. Mine are 32 and 28. Right? And mine are kind of over the curve now. But, my older daughter hosts events. Right? She's doing this now too. So I guess I've helped her understand all of that, and she gets more secure every day because she starts to understand all this stuff. But that's how it all works. Anyway, we got into a little bit of a story there, but does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because you said you don't know what happened. Did you have younger or older? Did you have younger or older siblings in your childhood?
Older siblings, but I should mention one thing. I was a preemie baby. I was in an incubator for more than.
There you go. There, that answers that. So as a preemie, you're in an incubator. That means you don't have access to your primary caregiver, which is going to give you those feelings of being abandoned.
Could be. Yeah, and my mom said that I seldom cried as a baby.
So what would that probably make you for attachment style? I'm going to guess a fearful avoiding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lower self-esteem, right?
Mhm.
Not willing to, scared to attach. Once you attach, you become codependent very quickly.
Yeah.
And submissive.
Right.
Okay. So that's maybe how you approach life from that people-pleasing perspective. Because you're seeking affirmation. Because when you were in an incubator, felt like you were being abandoned. So you weren't worthy.
Could be. Yeah.
And your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain, that's what triggers you today, is that wound that's never been healed.
And usually when I run into like conflict or something like that, my go-to place is just to go off and be alone.
Right. So you self-abandon.
Could be.
Yeah. And it's perfectly normal. A lot of people do that. I could show you video after video explaining it all. And once you understand it, you realize that you're perfectly normal. You're fine. You just need to heal the wounds. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have a wound from childhood that you're letting interfere with your life today.
Interesting.
And it's
And wouldn't that
interesting.
be? Go ahead, Cynthia.
Well, it's interesting because I've heard Bruce say many, many times childhood wounds, and people go, well, I had a great childhood.
Mhm.
Well, the great part was from 3 to 18. That's what they remember. This is the stuff that is pre-memory, right? So it doesn't matter what we think our childhood was, because we can't remember the most crucial part of it that actually creates our attachment style.
And it doesn't mean you had bad parents.
Right.
You can have the best parents in the world.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
circumstance.
Because in your case, I've had no shortage of people say, you know what? I now remember my mom telling me that I had a kidney issue and I had to go in the hospital for a few months when I was 9 months old. Okay. The baby doesn't realize it's in a hospital. All it knows is it's not with its mother. Yeah. And that builds the emotional wound right into the fiber of the baby, right? The emotional memory. And you live with that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So what are your two daughters? Are your two daughters different?
They are different.
Like is one, let me give you a simpler example. Do you have a dog?
No.
Do you know dogs? Like, have you had dogs in the past?
Yeah, I've known people with dogs and did have
Okay.
a dog for a little while.
What's the actions of an anxious dog? Just when I say anxious, what do you envision?
They often put like their tail between their legs and
No, that would be a fearful dog.
they're fearful. Okay.
Anxious is the one that has to be on you all the time, just looking for attention. Always has to be in the room with you, always is beside you, sitting on your lap, wanting to be petted, right? That's the anxious dog. Then there's the fearful dog, is the one with the ears back and the one between his tails. It always looks like you're going to hit it, right? you walk in and it just curls up. That's an anxious dog. That's a fearful dog. The dismissive dog is what?
I don't know.
Well, the dismissive dog is a
that
cat.
you?
The dismissive dog
Dog is a cat.
I had a
the cat could give a shit about it. Just feed me the damn food and leave me alone. Right?
Most of the time.
Is that a fair representation of how we envision cats to be?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying there's not lots of cats that are the other ways, but most people, when we think of cats, we go that dismissive style. And a secure dog is like the golden retriever, just a nice, friendly dog. When you go away, it's fine. When you come home, it's happy to see you. It's just it interacts nicely with the other dogs, right? The dismissive would be more along the lines of the pit bull, right? Stay away from me. I'm gonna fight with everybody. I'm the power. I'm the He-Man of the group, right? So I'm trying to think of breeds. Would the Chihuahua be the anxious, Cynthia?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, or a
Chihuahua,
Jack Russell Terrier.
Yeah.
Well,
Classic,
are
anxious.
they? I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
any.
Or even
It's
a
a piece of
lab that
chaos.
follows you around.
Yeah, I think the anxious is a little harder, but the when I say the Chihuahua's a little yappier, right? Making noise, always wanting attention, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fearfuls, I don't know if there's a breed that I would consider fearful. I mean, the secures are easy. Those would be the just those nice calm dogs that are,
Yeah.
and so the same thing works. So now when you look at your children, Peter, I'm not comparing your children to dogs, but that gives you an idea how that works. What are your children's attachment styles as you can see right now?
I would say that my oldest is more an anxious attachment style.
Mm-hmm. Needs lots of attention and probably going through the divorce. That's going to make that a little worse, but that's going to get magnified.
Yeah.
What's the youngest? Is she a little solider, a little, because they're 5 years apart?
Yes.
Did they have different elements of care when they were young? Like
I would say it's similar, except that, being an only child, our oldest got more attention. Our oldest also did go to daycare.
Right. And the youngest didn't?
Correct.
So do you think the youngest is a little more secure or not?
A little more secure, but also more of, makes more noise to get attention type thing.
Okay. Yeah. And because she's got to compete with her sister and
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And because everything's on a spectrum, right? You're not going to be just one. You'll be elements of all of them. So she could be somewhat secure with a little bit of anxious, and your older one could be just a little more anxious, right? And that's why it's so important to understand, because the sooner that you recognize this as a parent, the sooner you can start implementing things today so that she doesn't end up in the same position you are. Does that make sense?
Bruce, if you think of kids versus like a partner, how does an anxious or a secure act out? I mean, and you just gave the examples of the dogs, but I'm thinking
Anxious will be affirmation seeking, people pleasing, never getting their needs met, taking care of everybody else's needs. That's the anxious.
Peter, does that fit for Sarah during this time, during divorce?
Well, during the divorce, everything is all flipped on its head. It's hard for me to tell. I can look back previous to that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so
things that I can could share that.
Yeah, you don't have to share anything. I just want you to be aware of stuff. That's all.
So Bruce, would one of those ACEs events at divorce throw a curve into everything, or should each individual be acting out their attachment style even more? I'm wondering if the older child really is.
Your attachment style is reinforced by everything that happens to you. If you have a secure child, let's say you got two 10-year-olds. One is secure and one is insecure. It doesn't really matter which insecure. It could be anxious, fearful, or dismissive. They both go through the same traumatic experience. It could be the death of somebody. It could be an assault of some kind, an abuse of some kind. The secure child sees that event through secure eyes. They understand they're safe. They feel secure. They have a safe place. They have a mom, they have a dad. I have a secure foundation. So when I realize when I do go through this traumatic experience, let's say it's an abuse of some kind, I can separate the abuser from everybody else in the world. And I understand it's a bad person, not a bad world. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If I'm insecure when I get the abuse, I view that as an ongoing, this is why I need to be scared of the world.
And that people are bad, right?
Yeah, all people
I have to
are
protect
bad.
myself all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, when we're insecure, we view the world through our insecure eyes. So everything that happens, we're viewing from the insecure perspective, as in, oh, see, I can't trust this person. That's why I have to make sure I don't trust this. I can't speak up because I'll get abandoned, right? I don't feel safe to be authentic. But if I'm secure, that all goes out the window. I realize I can separate people as different people and different things. Whereas when we're insecure, we just go internal. I got to protect myself. That's why I don't trust anybody. That's why I'm not going to let anybody get close. If I don't let them close, they can't abandon me. But also I start to understand love is, for a dismissive, love is probably not even possible. Don't let them get close. You're going to be abandoned. And you always want to have backup plans. For an anxious, it's, I'm never loved enough. I have to keep chasing it. And a fearful is, I want to be in a relationship, but I'm not good enough. I'm going to lose it anyway, so maybe I'll sabotage it. I'm going to sabotage the relationship so that they can't abandon me. At least I get to control how it fails.
So Peter, right now that sounds a little bit more like Sarah. I don't know if things are just wonky for her. I'm not obviously challenging your understanding of her or the divorce.
I have a feeling he might be thinking more about himself.
Yes.
And this all seems really, really heavy. And it is, because it's life-changing information when you understand yourself on that level. But also, like, in that event, it goes very light, and it takes it to dating and why you act the way you do when you're dating somebody and why they're acting the way they do. And it's really interesting, because that part of it, you can laugh at yourself, which is extremely important when you're dealing with very heavy material.
It's heavy talk. Well, we have to laugh at ourselves because we all do it. We all do it, right? I try to express that so many times. You're normal. You're perfectly normal. This is not anything outside of what billions of people have. I mean that billions in the world, right? These are normal circumstances that we can navigate once we understand.
Yeah.
Bruce, I saw that you were starting foundation events again, which are
What's that? Yeah, I'm starting on Sunday.
I don't see it on Meetup, and I don't see it on your website, and I wondered if
They're on Meetup, aren't they?
you've got some other things scheduled on Sunday.
Have you taken any of the foundation events, Peter?
Yes, I have taken some, and I don't recall all of their names. I do remember I took one on personality types.
Yeah.
And one of the loved ones.
What is
I don't know what you're looking at, Joe. I see them all here.
Could you put a link in the chat, maybe? Because I want to go back to most of the foundation events.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Which city do you want me to link it to?
Oh.
Like where are you looking in Meetup is the question.
Your Edmonton.
That's the one you go
That's
to.
how we feel too.
Right.
Tremendous rivalry between the two cities.
I'll give you Calgary's link, but the time will be wrong, right? Don't you want maybe an LA link?
I don't know. I just found you
Seattle?
on Edmonton. That's what I've always used. But I've also looked on your website's free event calendar, and it shows exploring spirituality. Oh, that's the 7th. Holiday week. No.
You got to go further ahead.
Oh, that's the beginning, September. Okay. I thought it zipped me to today. There it is.
There we go.
Okay. So I'm not sure what all's going on Sunday, but I'm going to try to make that work. And Peter, I can send you the link if you want to tag team again.
The spirituality one?
No, attachment style. I was reading his calendar wrong.
Okay. And remind me of the day?
Sunday.
I'll send it to you. Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
This Sunday?
9 a.m. Pacific.
The 28th?
Hold on. 9 a.m. Pacific.
You're right. The calendar. I'm on a different computer and it didn't recognize my time zone. Yep.
Yeah. Click the blue clock there.
Gracious.
Anyway, our lady from Queens left. Now, Sachin, I don't know, you've been listening. Are you there? Oh, maybe not there. Or if you're talking, your sound's off. I don't know which. Maybe we're not listening.
Shy.
Well, maybe I should ask you guys first. I mean, once again, I just posted this yesterday. I had no idea I just wanted to practice the event to kind of see what would happen and how it would work. How do you think I should do this moving forward? Should I have, like you said, Joe, should I have, say, 3 questions up on the screen and say pick one?
Yeah, I think a free for all at the beginning with newbies that aren't familiar with what you do and how you can do it. And if you could go down a rabbit hole, it can feel kind of confrontational
Yeah.
when they don't know what the format is or whatever. So I think right off the bat, 3, you're really good with provocative, questions or topics.
Yeah.
Let the group pick one and go from there.
I agree.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, and then I have some videos too, and that's what I mean. If I can prep them and have a couple videos to kind of get the conversation going, and I think
Yeah, and it's hard to get a discussion going, I think, without you or a video providing some definitions and context, because we, like you said, we have to agree on some terms or some whatever in order to discuss, and so that really launches it.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm gonna try posting this for the next few Fridays and see if I can get it, 6 people next week and 8 people the week after that and 10 people after that and 20 people after that, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's always fun to see different people's perspectives on things, right? Same topic, and you could have 2 totally different viewpoints, and then that can change my mindset, and I can go, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way, right? It's those little paradigm shifts. They're good and healthy for us. They shake things up.
Anyway, is that good enough for tonight?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions, Peter? Do you get a headache?
Oh, it's right. I keep reaching back here like this. I got
no,
no, not a headache. But I am looking forward to. I just wanted to double check because I'm not seeing it on Meetup. The event, is that on the 28th at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sending.
Where are you looking on Meetup? You're not looking in the city. You're just trying to search for it. Is that correct?
I'm just trying to look for ACP Edmonton. That's what I was looking.
So Peter,
look for a conscious. Actually, it might be titled. Look for Discover You, Seattle.
So Peter, I just sent you a link for anyone else that's interested.
Yeah, I don't know how it. See,
I'm not seeing on Meetup, but I did find on your website calendar.
Yeah, I'll give you the Seattle. I'll give you a link to the Seattle group because that way it'll be in the right time zone. Where is Seattle?
Yeah, I do like this format. And I like the discussion. I
put the Seattle group in the chat, or the Seattle. Did you see it in the chat there, Peter?
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Just look on there and it'll be there all the time.
Okay.
Or join that group.
I like the discussion. Sometimes I'm a little leery of, I don't want to, I don't want a big session on like Peter's problems or something like that. Not because I don't want to talk about it, but because I don't want to monopolize the time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's where you have to let me worry about that. I know if it's interesting to other people.
Got it.
Like I'll know and that's why when I ask questions, it's because other people are going through the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And so if you can find somebody who can kind of convey some information, everybody else learns along the way. Mm-hmm. Now, when people start telling their own story that has nothing to do, that's when I should kind of cut that off.
Okay.
Right. I make sure we're talking about something that's relevant.
Got
Because I have to deal with that all the time. So I'm quite used to doing that. If it wasn't interesting to other people, I would have cut it off.
Yeah,
Now, in the same sense, if there was 10 people here, I may have shortened it a little bit, or else I would have asked somebody else, have you had a similar experience? And then they maybe would have given a different perspective on the same topic, and you could have learned a little more through them, right? And that's when you really learn, because it's a little harder in your situation because we're just talking about you. It'd be a lot easier if somebody else had their own story and that was kind of similar.
I've been in a number of sessions with Bruce where someone's talking about their kids, their like grown kids or their parents. And 10 minutes later, like, is this resonating with everyone else? We're like, yeah, we can extrapolate the point here for coworkers or romantic partners or whatever.
Yeah, it all runs across all of them.
Bruce, I'm sure you have plenty of ideas and suggestions, but for me, I can't hear you talk about attachment styles or core values enough. So I would always vote for those on one of these sessions.
Yeah, it just depends where it goes. It usually is going to end up there anyway, right? Right. That's where it's all usually going to wind down to. So yeah, that's usually a pretty safe bet. But it's fun to go through some of these more difficult topics, especially for people trying to navigate relationships and trying to, what I call, deny reality. There's reality, and then there's everybody's perception, right? We're trying to understand what reality is and how we're all looking at life through our own eyes with our own perspectives, and it might not be right. It might not be factual. It might be perception. So, but hopefully, Peter, you got a little bit of information that you can sit back, and then when you're talking to your daughters, you're going to look a little differently. You're going to look from a less confused perspective, right? Especially if you were to take attachment style, and then I highly recommend the what is love and do I love myself, because you've already taken the personality one. But core values, what is love and do I love myself? Those 5 events are all free for the next 5 Sundays, right? Just come out, doesn't cost you anything. It'll completely change your perspective on all this. And that's why they're the foundation events, because it kind of puts you in the mindset, oh, okay, this is what I didn't understand about myself. How can I heal this? And that's what all the programs are for.
Okay.
I just finished the grief program, and I mean, everybody there, like who they just said, I just feel so much lighter now, just because they now understand what grief is, how it's impacted their life, how they haven't healed it, how to heal it, the path forward. That's what we go through in that whole program. And I'm starting the dating program tomorrow. I was hoping there'd be a few people here tonight that were dating.
I am, and I think the Swipe Right program was amazing.
Yeah, I'm starting it tomorrow. Got about 8 people in it right now.
And Bruce, just wanting to say it one more time, I really admire the way you're approaching your business. You give so much for free to whoever is interested to see as many times as they want. It honestly, as a business person, it's a great marketing to say, this is what we do. It's hard to explain. Come participate, come see it. But to make all the foundation events free, it's just simply not in someone's budget to pay for something right now, or whatever, they can still, then you give teasers on the paid courses. You give kind of a 1 or 2 hour session on the various courses that go deeper. But
I also tell
there's
everybody,
enough content there for someone to really change their life, just in the compliment.
I've had some people like a Moo, I think she lives in Toronto. All she's ever come to is free events, and she says it's completely changed her life.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah.
So, that's good. But I also tell people, if you can't afford it, we'll work something out, right? The whole goal was to make it affordable, because there's a lot of people that are suffering and don't know. I mean, if they can't afford $150 an hour for a counselor, what do you do?
Right.
Right. So
Go see Bruce.
And then I also had so many people that go, I've been in counseling for 6 years. Why don't I know any of this stuff?
Mm.
I get a lot of that. I just had more of that. Well, this one lady, she's from LA. She came to the grief program, and she after the first event, she said, "I've been counseling for grief." She lost both her sons, and she says, "How come I don't know any of this? How come I've been doing grief counseling? I've been in grief support groups. I didn't know any of this. This would have helped so much."
They're good complements
Yeah.
to each other.
Anyway,
Counseling
okay.
and this.
I guess that's all for today. I'm going to go through. I'm recording this for myself, so I'm going to go through the introduction so that I have the recording, so I can put it. I'm going to put the introduction up on YouTube. So you guys are welcome to stay if you want. But I'm going to go through the recording right now, so I have the recording, and then I'm going to use it as kind of a guide for people.
Okay. I'm gonna
So
sign off.
anyway, okay.
Thanks for all you do, and I'll see you again soon.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
Thanks, Peter. Good night. Okay, so what is a conscious partner? It's myself, Bruce Doherty. My daughter is Caitlin Doherty, and Dr. Giselle Tennant. Giselle and I built this from many years ago, 2017, I think we started. I do most of the hosting now. What is Discover You? It's a new and innovative way to experience real growth and awareness. And it is guaranteed. I mean, we'd have to explain that to you, but it's a guaranteed. You're going to grow. It's not therapy, just clarity, tools, and directions for those who know growth matters. It is not coaching. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm gonna show you how you're living your life so that you can decide if that's what you want to be doing. Do you want to be living your life that way? And it's designed for people who want to grow. If you seriously want to grow, if you want to make a change in your life, this is for you. If you just want a weekend class and you want to try and get a dopamine hit and you just want to feel good for a while, then this isn't for you. This is for people who seriously want to grow. If you're serious about growth, we have all the tools and information to make it happen. Now, the most common journey that we do here is people attend one of the free events. And you have the 5 foundation events, or what we call the Discover You 1 hour events. So there's 5 foundations, there's 48 different events on those 1 hour ones. So the 5 foundation events are attachment style, core values, exploring personalities, what is love, and do I love myself. They're completely different events. They provide the foundation for understanding who you are before you're getting ready to grow. Like, you should know all of these things so that you have context for your growth. And then the 48 Discover You events, as you see, they're all numbered there. Those are little samples of all the different events that Discover You has, like dealing with conflict, setting boundaries, letting go of the past. Those are all 2.5 hour events, but these little 1 hour versions are like little samplers of it. And they're all free. Everything's free. Just go on Meetup or you go on the calendar on the website. So the 5 foundation events and 48 sample events. Now, the next step that a lot of people do is they do the Discover Me. Or if you're a couple, you do Discover Us. And this is a one-on-one comprehensive assessment and analysis of who you are, all the subconscious things you're not realizing you're doing. And it's really hard to understand until you kind of understand it. But it takes you about 3 hours to do all the assessments. And then I will get all the assessments. I will build a presentation just for you. And then I will sit with you for 3 hours and go through what it all means. We'll go through all the questions you answered. I'll help you understand what all the assessments mean. And you will get an understanding of how your mind works. Then now you have an idea of how we work with the foundation events or the sample events. You do the assessment, you realize how your brain works. You're probably going to realize you need to grieve some stuff. This is usually from your childhood. That's what exposure to grief is for. That's a 6-week journey of awareness and understanding of what grief really is. Those are 6 2.5 hour events. It's not grief support group. It's not grief counseling. This is understanding what grief is. It's giving you awareness around what you likely haven't grieved. It'll give you awareness around how to grieve, a path to move forward, and just give you all the information you need to realize the baggage you're carrying that you didn't know you were carrying. That's what that whole program's about. And with that comes a level of peace because now you understand it, right? Then people want to know, how do I now heal? That's what the growth series is for. So there's 8 different programs. There's 8 unique and powerful 6-week programs, 48 events, 1 per week, 2.5 hours each, total of 120 hours of growth. So you can get it all done within a year if you come out once a week for 2.5 hours. If it takes you longer than a year, that's fine. However long it takes you to go through all the events, there's no limit on the far end of it. They're all interactive. They're all interesting. They're group events. So we have people talking. I have lots of videos. There's expert videos, lots of self-assessments. You'll know who you are and you'll know how you want to grow and heal for the course of them. So going back to the Discover Me, allow 3 hours. It's multiple online assessments. We'll set up a mutually agreed upon time on Zoom to meet. I will meet with you for 3 hours one-on-one to understand what it all means. This is an example of the synopsis or the one-page assessment you get from it all. You'll get a 90-page PDF or maybe even 100 pages, depending on how long it is, with every answer you gave. But this is the synopsis. This tells you what we're going to go through. You're going to go through your emotional security, your recognition, responsibility, etc. We're going to go through all of your barriers. You're going to get a score out of 1,000. So in this example, the security score is 725. The barrier score is 513. Now, I'm not going to explain it here, but this tells me something. And when we go through every one of the questions that gave you all those numbers, you're going to realize something about yourself. And I'm going to help you understand it and put it all in perspective. You're going to get some core value information. That's along the bottom there. How do you want to feel, be, have, seek, develop, and share? And you're going to start to realize, oh, okay, this is how I want to live. Why am I not living this way? We're going to do some personality stuff. And in the sample, that's an ENTJ. It shows you how strong your letters are. I'm going to show you what all those letters mean so you understand it. We're going to get an ACEs score. That's that number up top. That's your adverse childhood experiences. You're going to do an assessment on that and get a number. I'm going to help you understand what that number means and how it impacts your life. We're going to do the Big 5 assessment. Openness, conscientious. This is another version of a personality assessment. You're going to understand how neurotic you are and how that impacts your life. We're going to do a saboteur's assessment. If you're a people pleaser, on this screen here, the pleaser score is 3.8. If you're a people pleaser, your score will probably be 7, 8, 9, or 10, right? I'm going to be, this isn't mine, but my controller score would probably be about that high. My stickler score might be, my rational score would probably be 9 or 10. My vigilant score would be really low. You know, it's about understanding what you're doing in your brain and going, oh, that's what I'm doing. And then the scale helps you understand whether or not it's healthy or not. If you're up around 8, 9, or 10, it's probably not healthy. Getting below 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are pretty good numbers. That's where you want to be. And so then you have to see, I'm doing this to myself. And then we do a complete relationship patterns assessment. And that is really eye-opening. That tells you what you think a relationship is and what it's going to deliver to you. So if you have strong abandonment wounds, you believe that a relationship is going to bring you abandonment. They're going to abandon you. So in effect, you're going to make it happen. If you feel like a relationship, you might not feel like you're defective in a lot of areas of life, but if you have a relationship pattern of being defective in a relationship, that's not good, right? We have to understand what our brains are doing that have us acting in ways in the relationship that probably aren't true or necessary. This whole assessment, it's worth $1 million. I've had people come to me, they've done the assessment, and then they've taken that to their counselor. And then the counselor, it's like a gold mine because they know exactly how you're thinking now. They also know how to work and help you through this stuff. And that's if you have, special growth areas you want to work on. every event I do will help you in all these areas. And we've seen significant growth. We've had people take the assessments, in the past, they take them 6 months later, their numbers are completely different. So that's really what the program is. Exposing grief, understand how grief impacts your life and relationships, discover the path to healing your past pain and moving forward. These are the 6 events: discover your grief, explore the emotions, understand the impact, manage your triggers, establish your path, and embrace your new normal. And why do we need it? This is the reason you need the grief program.
You want to know why it's so important that you heal from all your childhood wounds? It's because it's going to carry over into your adult life. It's going to carry over into your adult relationships. And the way that looks is this: if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, or maybe one of them was on drugs or alcohol, if there was constant chaos and drama in your life, in your adult relationships, you're going to probably end up with something that's toxic as well. Why is that? Well, it's because you're used to it. It feels like home to you. You know how to navigate that because you've been navigating that your entire life. The problem is this: when you get in these toxic adult relationships and you try to get out, maybe something happens and a really good person comes into your life and they're willing to love you and treat you good and show you respect. You don't know how to navigate that. And you probably are going to self-sabotage and push it away because it makes you uncomfortable to actually experience what true love really is. That's why so many of you have been in toxic relationships over and over and over again. It's because there is unhealed childhood trauma in you, and that is why you keep ending up with these people, because it feels familiar to you and you know how to navigate and move around in those situations. You don't like it. Nobody really wants to be treated like crap. But if you actually had somebody come in and treat you right, you'd probably run, or you'd probably be bored.
Now, I'm pretty sure that's going to resonate with a lot of you. That's what we're doing. That's what happens when we don't heal our childhood wounds. And this will bring all this up to the surface and help you understand what it is you haven't healed, how important it is to heal. You'll understand the impact of not healing it. We'll talk about triggers in that 4th event. It's all there. It will change how you look at your life and relationships. And then the growth series, 8 unique 6-week programs in the same time slot. Like, it's consistently Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays is the normal time slots. I throw certain programs and events in other spots. Every event will provide you powerful self-assessments, expert videos, sincere interaction with other people who are on the same journey. We're all there working together. So those are the 6 events. If you want to kind of look at all the titles, you can go on the website and see them, or you can freeze this and look at all the different titles. Those are the 48 events. Those are 48 2.5-hour events there. And this is an example of the 6 principles. This is an example of a video that we might show, and then we would talk about this kind of stuff during the event.
What is happening around you does not have to happen to you.
Right.
What other people are doing, yes, you are going to feel something. You're going to have an opinion. You will respond. This is human nature. But what you do in response to what somebody else is doing is where your power is. This is how you take responsibility for your life, Oprah. And let's look at the word responsibility.
Yes.
It is the ability to respond. And we forget when we get ourselves so stressed out because the grocery line isn't moving the way that you think it should moving, and now you're draining your life force over something so stupid. And then you wonder, why are you so tired? Why are you so overwhelmed? Why are you last on your list? It's because you allow death by 1,000 cuts. You allow people's moods and inconsiderate strangers and the headlines in the news to be something that impacts you. There's a different way to live. You just say, let them.
Let them.
Anyway, that's an example of a kind of a video we would play during an event, but we'll then have an assessment around that so you understand what you're doing. We'll have information, we'll have interaction, and a discussion about all this stuff. That's where the growth happens. And what they were talking about in that video was responsibility, and that's in the 6 principles: recognition, responsibility, acceptance. Those are the 6 events inside that program. Now, cost, the whole idea is to make this as affordable and effective and as fun as possible. We like to have fun events. We're not overly serious. We deal with serious topics, but we approach them with some lightheartedness. In a sense, we're all normal. We're all just trying to get through life. So it's monthly payments, and you can pay in any denomination or currency of your choice, American, Canadian, British, or euros. And you can do the Discover Me. That's 3 payments. You can sign up. And then when you sign up, like, okay, what do you want to do? And if you say, I just want to do the Discover Me, then I'll set the thing for 3 payments, and you'll just make 3 payments, and we'll do the Discover Me, and you'll have your information. The Exposing Grief is just 1 more payment. And then if you want to do the entire growth series, you can do 8 payments. So the total thing is 12 payments. And you can decide what you want to do. If you want to start just with the growth series and see how that goes, then tell me what you want to do, and I'll set it for 8 payments, and then you can come out to all the growth series events. So it's very flexible. You just contact me, tell me what you want to do, and it is guaranteed. I don't know if I have the guarantee in here. I'll just tell you the guarantee. The guarantee is that as long as you're on camera and as long as you're interacting, if you don't grow, when you're done this whole thing, I'll give you all your money back. And I have no problem at all doing that, because first of all, I know you're going to grow, but the growth is based on your own standards. If you're saying, no, I didn't grow at all, then I'll give you your money back. It's that simple. I don't think there's anybody out there that's doing that for you. But I guarantee you're going to grow. I guarantee you'll grow in 3 months, but that's why I can do the guarantee after a year, because after 3 months, you're going to feel like a different person. So if you're interested in that, check out the website, come out to the free events, and make a decision as to what you want to do. It doesn't cost you anything to come to the free events. You'll get to know me. It could be if you come out to my daughter's events, or somebody else. If Giselle gets hosting more events, you come out to her events. Come out and see us. Figure out what you want to do and let us know. But I guarantee you're going to grow. If you have any questions, let me know.